it's just so relieving and refreshing to see that, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's what I do now. Now I'm just like, hey, I want this. Be able to track. Here you go.
Yeah.
Build a system.
Sometimes the
Get a
things he
system.
hands me.
Yeah.
Be my solution.
Here you go.
Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, so you want me to build Google Maps?
Yeah.
Right?
And
You know, and I'm just
And I'm
like,
like, why not?
yeah, he's always the why not guy, which I love. I love the why not, you know, why
Yeah,
not
I
us,
mean-
why not me mentality. And I think we've grown a lot as people going through
That's
this
good.
together.
that's good.
And it's okay if we take a left turn into that. Okay.
Get spiritual now. We
Yeah.
have the time for technicalities, background,
Yeah.
so we can just get into
Okay.
spiritual. Yeah.
I'm down.
I just have conversations. I don't know who's here.
Yeah.
Perfect. I get to ask a
No,
question.
Yeah.
I feel like this group could be here till midnight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like we've grown tremendously as a couple, as business partners. You know, it's really hard. You can be a wife or a boss. But you can't be both at the same time. Right.
Yeah.
And so like really finding our flow, and
Yeah.
because we're so different, like it is so complementary, but it's
Yeah.
also yin and yang,
Yeah.
right? Yin has different priorities than yang does.
Yeah.
And you know, both are important and both are needed, but it's
Mhm.
like swimming through those waters and kind of navigating together. Like for me, you know, I think you're starting to see full picture, you know, that leadership component,
Yeah.
and why I was always like not harping on it, but harping on it, right?
Yeah.
It
And,
took me
like,
a while to get here.
you know, I
That's for sure.
because he's just go, like end goal and just go. And I love that about him. I don't want to take that away from him, but I'm also like, you know, when it comes to your people, how you lead is equally important. That human behavior perspective and understanding human behavior and how it all ties in. And even things like, you know, you're night and day. I love it. Like watching you lead is the coolest thing ever, to just stand there and be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
just understanding how it all pieces together. When I hear conversations, you know, I said to him in the past, like, you know, to your point, like, you can't just be like, this is what I want. Like, go. Like, don't ask any questions, just go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, helping people understand the why behind it and connecting, like, their role to that vision
Mhm.
makes all the difference.
Yeah, the structure
It
builder.
does. It
That's
really
good.
does.
Yeah, because he. So I get it. You know, you're building structure behind. You're building the rails. Excuse me. What is it? The train runs on the rails. He's the powertrain, right? 100% horsepower. Go. You're building. You're help guiding the rails. I think that's something that's so required for us, because whenever you can have one and not the other, you know what you have. You have chaos.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that's. I don't really have an explanation on how I did that. I just think it's more of just like, you know, spit on my hands every day.
Yeah, it's just all, yeah.
Sometimes that's all it is. But I mean, and I thank God a lot for the opportunities. He's right on time for me a lot. So
Correct,
with the
correct.
businesses and stuff. So
It's usually never early, which
I
is also
wish-
Yeah,
tempting.
that is for
Yeah.
sure.
I wish he was on my time.
It's always like last minute. You're like, I don't even know.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
know how this is gonna work. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And
You
I think
know, I think what's interesting too is like you set out this plan, right? Business people, we always have plans. We're always working. There's always a million different things.
Yeah.
Like you have all these filing cabinets, and you're constantly in your own brain, right? And you're organizing. You're like, okay, I'm planning it out this way, and you know whatnot. We were just talking about this in the car. Like God only gives you one step at a time, and His vision, especially for your business, which is hard. You can have all the plans in the world,
Yes.
but His point B is gonna probably look a lot different
Yeah.
than yours. You know,
Yeah.
perfect example. I won't get into all the details, but we at the shop, you know, we had a Denali, and basically, you know, the kid was a drug addict, like in and out of jail, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of situation. Well, you know, he was doing this thing out of his right mind, decided to, you know, delete his truck and go cut all the wires underneath his
Oh
truck.
man.
Just terrible damage, right? So that it was a whole thing. Without getting into it, the way that God resolved that issue, right? It went to like mechanics lien, and I was trying to make settlements with his mom of like,
Wow.
you know, what can you afford? What can we do? I don't,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to, you know, put you in a bad position.
Yeah.
But the way God redeemed that was He brought the University of Alabama that asked us to upgrade a double-decker London-style bus with a modern
Really?
drivetrain
Yeah.
for their
Yeah, that's-
ultimate tailgating machine.
That's
Yeah,
great.
And that's how
great.
God,
'Cause
like,
I'm like,
turned
what
that
are we gonna do with this
situation over.
truck? I don't want to fix it. Like,
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
send me a picture or video.
Yeah, we
Yes, we get it next
Yeah,
week.
I
We get
want
it
this
next week.
too.
Yeah.
We get it next week.
I'll take
So it's a
pictures of it.
London.
No, if you want to
That's
come out and
amazing.
like do some
That's
video
amazing.
stuff
Yeah,
like with
so
it, I mean,
They're
oh
like,
my
yeah,
God.
you can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, just interconnectivity. For us right now, it's crazy how connected that we are and how actually not connected and how disconnected we actually are. At the
Yeah,
same time.
correct.
So it's like conversations like these are like it's an invitation. It's like, hey, I want what I did, especially with Beyond Freight and all this stuff. I used to just call it GH Logistics, whatever. I just think, hey, it's Beyond Freight in general. It's my thought process is. We just talked about relationships. We talked about business ownership. We talked about what it takes, the struggles. All those things are not talked about enough.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And people deal with them differently. And most people I've met, they hide them. You know, they're like they want to shine with the with what they have, and because that's everything that everybody only sees. They don't see that. They see the top, that picture top of the glacier, and then what's actually on the bottom of the glacier, so on. Like they don't see all the work that comes in. So it's like talking to other people that are trying to make it, and I'm getting these stories, and that's where it's. And I feel for people because people go through these. Like y'all had some stories. So, like people go through those same stories, and I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine, and it also reminds me like, man, I am blessed, to think like I had some perfect things come in my life in a way. And I thank God for the people that poured into me and, and at the same time, I'm happy that I have the discernment to say that it's not me, that it's, I'm pointing my glory to God and we're doing what we can. Right. And so, on top of that, just thank y'all. I mean, that was really everything that I feel like we could keep talking for a very long time.
Oh no, we definitely can.
Because I mean, just from business ownership, we don't get to have these conversations.
No, nobody does, right? At the end of the day, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people just get too big, right?
Yeah.
And I get why they do it, right? You get to, when you build something up so high,
yeah,
and so big, you don't really get to talk to the other people, but like that, or
it's lonely
doing
at
the
the top.
smaller stuff, right?
Yeah, it's lonely at the top.
And it's just because you don't have the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, and I don't think they get to communicate that.
Yeah.
Very well.
I agree.
Everyone thinks like, oh, he just had it, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's like, no, it used to be where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I literally was in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys, I tell them, I said, I've been there.
Yeah.
I said, don't give up, keep pushing.
That's right.
I said, it's all gonna come about.
Yeah.
I was like, just pray about it and hope for the best, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
And I said, and you have me here to help you.
Yeah.
I said, utilize me. I'm here to help you.
And that's the thing, Jonathan, because you've been through it, and probably nobody helped you.
No.
Right.
No.
And that's the thing. When I went through it, thank God I had my family. My family helped me to a lot, and just in the knowledge and wisdom, and then hey, don't go and spend money on those parties. Instead, hey, just go buy another truck.
Correct.
And I was like, that's a terrible decision. But at the same time, just trying to be. I guess you're trying to be what you didn't have.
Correct.
And I think that is so important for people to understand that I'm not doing this. The same thing. I'm trying to be what I didn't have. I didn't have this type of mindset, this type of thought process whenever I was at 5-10 trucks. I didn't have this. All I knew was I am scared for the 15th.
Yes, exactly.
So
every first of the month.
Yeah,
you're like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep them composed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just thinking about all the things that could go wrong, and then the things that you thought about weren't the things that went wrong that month. So it's like all those things just desensitized me, and I had to process that, and then I had to from processing that, I had to then start to peel the onion a little bit and try to understand why I am the way I am.
Correct.
And so a lot of that stuff has happened, especially with me personally lately, and I'm trying to grow and still to then get to the not to get to the next level. My biggest thing is I really just want to focus on presence with people, and then presence with God. I want to, love people, love God, and live to connect the two.
Correct.
And so that's one thing that's really big for me lately. And so I think that again we could probably go forever.
Yeah.
But I know that y'all got a drive ahead of you, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But, no,
Yeah. So I guess in general, just to wrap up, what I want to make sure, how can people reach you guys? What are y'all looking for? What is something that could highlight, could be a part of your your
Send us some
business.
trucks to repair.
You have no idea how much I'm going to hit that button. So
send us trucks. We work on everything from just regular diesel trucks. We work on Volkswagen diesels, double-decker buses now. We
There
can
you
add that
go.
to our resume.
We have it
all the way to
on
the big
F1
rigs.
cars, Ferraris.
That's awesome.
We have Garcia Performance.
We have Garcia Performance as well. So
Oh,
It's
okay.
a subset.
Yeah, it's
So
another-
now we know where my money was always going to Chrome, and I hated that I was going to Chrome. So now
Chrome don't get you
F1.
home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And right there is how you know how I made that connection.
That is how.
Yeah,
That is how.
so
Yep, and any of our websites, GarciaDiesel.com, GarciaHaulingTrucking.com. We are opening a landscaping yard in San Marcos.
Oh, nice, nice.
Coming soon, Garcia Hardscapes.
yeah, that one's open soon.
So that's in the works, and Garcia Performance.
Heck yeah, I'm
So-
telling you,
Yeah,
keeping it.
We can work on anything and everything. If you wanted to have a motor, we can work on it. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Heck
And shameless plug, I do own a staffing agency,
Oh,
and
yes.
so we do mostly blue collar work as well. That's mine. It's kind of whole separate from all of this too. And so
That's awesome.
we hire for truck drivers, mechanics, everything blue collar that's really sticky to find.
Yeah,
That's what we
yeah.
specialize in.
And I think that's why there's always going to be a market for that, because I mean I talk to a lot of these guys and they're like, well, just the first thing they say is there's just a shortage of truck drivers. I'm like, no, there's a shortage
no.
of good paying jobs. Is what it is,
Yeah.
So I think that
I never had
understanding.
no problem finding truck drivers.
Yeah, exactly. I never had a
Because you have a
problem.
me.
I haven't heard of those.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
ones, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
Good ones.
I never
For
had a
sure.
problem either, because I always thought, again, we can get into a tangent and talk for another hour.
Uh-huh.
But in general, for me, it's always like they're the arms and legs of what I was doing. So I was always paying them, as I looked at what JB Hunt and what all these guys were paying, and I said I pay 15% more, and just call it a day. I just don't want to deal with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I get positive feedback, and I think biggest thing for me is the first turnover. Biggest turnover is after the first 2 weeks, because I know whether or not they're going to stay.
Correct.
After that, these guys stay for a long time,
Yeah.
They
or
do.
they end up coming back.
Yeah,
so it's
correct.
like,
Never fails.
yeah. So I think that's definitely big, and you probably have in your staffing agency a lot of secrets that we're gonna probably have to talk about here
We
soon.
can talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
that too.
She's
Yeah.
solid at it.
Yeah, so,
Found a lot of good people for us.
But I will say too, in closing, it's interesting when you're talking about the help that you received in your family and everything. That's exactly at the heart of why we're doing this. Our son, he's 2.5, he loves trucks, but like seeing you, like I would love for him to be like, in your shoes
Yeah.
when he's older, kind of running the same thing. And so, it all comes back to family.
Leaving a legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Right,
much.
you're a future godfather.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. I love it.
That's awesome.
But hearing you like connect, talking about presence with God, connecting the two too, that's really important. And I'll kind of end my part in saying this. It took being massively stressed with the business and coming to a point of complete surrender with God to see what he could really do with it. And now, it has been just game busters ever since, and being able to see how he's connecting all the pieces together.
That's good.
And just know where it's going, because it's for the kingdom. It's not for us. It's not so we get rich. It's to fill everyone's plates.
That's
and to
amazing.
show
Correct.
the glory of God through every vehicle we touch, every person that we bring on our team,
Yeah,
and to be able to bring heven to earth, if you will.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
You
correct.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have anything to say to that. That was amazing. I
Yeah.
was
That's all I
like,
heard.
yeah. So again, thank y'all for being here. I know that hopefully we do more of these in
Oh,
general.
absolutely.
Just kind
You'll
of.
definitely be back.
Yeah, just have more conversations, and then of course I'll make sure I'll get y'all's number and everything after this. We can definitely talk about everything and how we can grow, or if there's something I can do, would love to. That's not common in this industry
No,
enough.
at all.
Yeah.
And I think it's very
So-
sad.
So
Very sad.
yeah, I mean I think there's a lot there, and of course especially out of your neck of the woods, I know a couple of guys that I don't like going to Austin for. So
Yeah.
so do your thing, but on
Yep.
top of that, good. Thanks. Good. All right,
Yep,
I'll
good.
walk you guys
All
out.
right.
It's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
If anybody can hear. All right, guys, you heard it here. We had the Garcias of Diesel and Trucking Repair, as well as my favorite boss and freight lord, Andrew J. Gomez. We're going to put down their websites as well as everything, the services that they do. We got to rep them out. So grateful for them to come out. They asked me to just get them some tea, and here we are talking about tea. I'm really grateful for them. Super great mindset, as well as my president here. Let's give a shout out for my editor as well, and my videographer for sitting back there for like a whole hour. And just really grateful again for everything, especially right now. Great first episode. Grateful for everybody that's going to watch and is watching. Thank you so much. Again, like, subscribe, shoot a comment, give us some pointers, give us some feedback. Let us know how we did, how I did. I know I was just sitting there looking pretty, Give me some feedback. Let me know what else we can do, any questions or even concerns. That would help me a lot. Thank you again. We'll see you in the next one.